Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ZapdosZulu. My name's Tiger here, going to do a series of introductory videos letting you guys know just exactly what is ZapdosZulu and how to ZapdosZulu, or ZZ for short. ZapdosZulu is a relatively old site. We've kept it going for years, and it can be rather daunting as a new member coming into a new role-playing website. You don't know where to start, you don't know where things are, so that is where I come in. So, you have found yourself the lovely role-playing site, ZapdosZulu.proboards.com. We have a beautiful skin brought to you by Again. Hopefully it's still up later on when you're watching this video in the future. But, jumping in. Already we have a lot of pretty useful things just to start in this info box. There are a couple of updates for events. We can get into those later. But it tells you about the skin, new NPC trades, Casino Fountain, that's another event. Just updates for when you start becoming familiar with the site and start actually participating in some of the things we have. Like swarms, we have swarms that are a thing. You can get staff here to help you. See, I'm right here. Gmod is the tiger, go Ryko, and any credits. The quick links are really what are going to help you out in the beginning. The site rules here. Please read all the rules. I'll try to get an introductory video about the rules as well. Your app to go ahead and make your character. Any announcements that you may want to read or take note of beforehand. Advertisements if you want to drop one of your old roleplay sites or somewhere that you might be roleplaying at the same time. Library is a lot of useful information about what makes ZZ tick. The level guide, which is here. Information about evolutions, because obviously we're not going to make you trade something to get an evolution. There's a completely different way to evolve tradable Pokemon. And just a lot of useful information. So, my first goal of today, where things are. So we're going to kind of have an idea. I'm going to walk you through the whole site. This is the welcome board. It's got the how to play, group role playing, Moderation Center. Moderation Center is anywhere if you have questions, if you want to thank a mod for modding your thread, because that is how ZZ works. Every modded thread is a unique journey post created by one of us to kind of help you get your story along. Member suggestions, if you want to say you're going to be absent for a while, pretty important for staff as well as members if you want to let people know, hey, I haven't died, I haven't disappeared, I'm just going to college or San Francisco or England, wherever you're going. If you want to drop a line there, go for it. Professor Oak's lab here. This is where basically all the character and information is. You can create your character here. You got moderators as well as us that can go ahead and accept those when they're ready. You can claim your first Pokemon. Even though we are set in Johto, you do start with the Kanto starters. But there is a way to go ahead and get the Johto starters throughout the story. So essentially, you could start with a Charmander and get a Cyndaquil, a Totodile, and a Chikorita. My characters have passed that point. I didn't really want them, but you are more than welcome to do the side quests and get them. And then the library, like I mentioned. Go in here, it's got the leveling system, the HMTMs, the evolution list, our happiness system if you have a Pokemon that evolves from happiness. The differences kind of between the game and the roleplay. How to fish, experience shares, events history. We'll come back to that later. The Pokemon Center is kind of our general board, where everything general is. Have announcements and news, the general chat, advertising if you want to come in here and drop an advertisement. Have a lot. I didn't mean to click that. We have a lot of these. PC boxes where extra Pokemon are here. The game corner, we're going to touch on that in a little bit. And the Rainbow Zulu, touch on that as well. So this is kind of the general area. Finally, we get to the role-playing board. As you go down, there's cities. You start right up here in New Bark and progress your way down the site. Like Joey just got to Mahogany Town. He's the furthest in the roleplay. My furthest character just got on to Ecruteak. So, curious to see what I get there. Now, events, if we had an event active, they would be here. We'll touch on that, as I mentioned later on, but they would be here if we had some, like, festival happening. And last but not least, I don't want to scroll down to staff area. Last but not least, We have the Pokemon world, where we have houses and estates, or breeding facility, trainer shops, if you want to sell your art or sprite work, or even the Pokemon that you catch in the roleplay. You can sell those off. The database is made for when you're transversing an Ilex, just so we don't crowd everything up. And also, in our roleplay, you can be a rocket, you can be a cop, be a part of the International Police Force. So I have a rocket, and I don't have anybody in the police force, but I'm kind of debating bringing one of my characters in there. So a lot of free realm for you and your characters that you want to create. And at the very bottom, we have our C box, and you can sit here and chat. So that's kind of the overview of the site so far. But my next goal, things to do. What do you do after you posted your thread? All right, say I'm Tiger right here, and I just posted my thread. That's where I modded. But I posted that thread right there. What do I do now? Remember how I talked to you about this general area? You can we have tons of different types of discussions here. You can chat with everybody. We Pokemon Sun and Moon just came out, or just were announced. So we've already started a Gen 7 conversation where we talk about the rival, which version we're gonna get, the legendaries. I don't know, but I want that lion. It looks awesome. I'm kind of mixed between the starters. If Litten, which is a meme cat, turns into a tiger, I kind of have to get it. But forum games, you can do anything from like the last letter game, who's a Pokemon type association, like with this one, Tyrant, and then you would go off and say something, whatever of that type, and then you name a Pokemon. There's just so many different things you can do. I actually haven't participated in all of them. Guys versus girls. You start at 50. Girls try to get it to 100. Guys try to get it to 0. Just things to eat up the time. But if you aren't the most social, I know I'm not, then you have something called the Game Corner. Game Corner helps you get different types of currencies that are in ZapdosZulu. So the high-low game, roulette, self-destruct 4. It's just like Connect 4. The Yeah, there's a lot. You can kind of let me try to find mine. Yep. You try to guess whatever color you're gonna get, and there are a lot of options there. I don't play there as much just because I'm busy modding. That's what kind of eats up my time. But for you guys, you have a lot. And last but not least, I'm gonna go up to the library here, which we just learned about, to look at some events, or the previous events that we've had, because events also give you something that you can do in the meantime. We had the winter event here, and we usually have up a guide. There's usually you can get a Pokemon somehow, or you can win items, and then you can be social with everyone. So they usually have some kind of guide for you to know what you're doing, to know how to get what you want and what's actually available. We also have returning festivals that come through, so if you didn't have enough money for a Pokemon at one point, you may have one for the next time. So my last thing, help. Where do you get help? What this is a giant site. I know this only touches the surface of how we really work here. What do you do when you need help? Go back to that moderation center here. If you have suggestions, throw them up in the suggestions right up here. If you want to look for somebody to roleplay with, group roleplay. If you haven't been replied to in 5 days or more, you pop here in the request a mod, and then mentioned if you are absent, you can go there. But ask an expert. This is what this thread is here for. If you have a question, we have answers. We've been here longer. There's absolutely no shame in having a question, because sometimes I have to go and look things up because it's a giant site and there's so much to remember. There's no shame in coming down here and asking a question, or even asking for tips. Otherwise, you have questions, you can throw them down here, like image updated. We had a broken image that we wanted to get updated. So somebody made sure to post it and say, hey, this is broken, if you saw it or not. Cleaning up dead adverts. A lot's been fantastic about giving us member feedback. which is exactly what we love. We can't make the site better unless we have you guys' feedback. We can't see everything. So, thank you for watching. Hopefully this has helped just a little bit in just getting around. I'm going to touch on where to find all of the roles here and how to play. It's literally just as easy as that. We try to make it as self-explanatory as possible. So if you have any questions, pop it down in the C box, pop it up and ask an expert, or in that help section. All right? Don't be afraid to ask us. It's what we're here for, and hopefully this video has helped scratch the surface of ZapdosZulu. So we really hope to see you continue on and play, and looking forward to modding you or watching your journey here in the future. Thanks.